رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي. A super amazing example of the Quran's linguistic miracle, especially for those people who love to read books and stories and literature in general. Now in this example I will bring the story on the mention of when the people of Noah they were drowned. Now in Surah Ash-Shu'ara chapter 26 verse 120 would say, then we drowned thereafter the remaining ones. And you have to focus on this, ثُمَّ أَغْرَقْنَا بَعْدُ الْبَاقِينَ, the remaining ones. However, in Surah Safat chapter 37, the same story of Nuh alayhi salam, but here it says, then we drowned, ثُمَّ أَغْرَقْنَا الْآخَرِينَ, then we drowned the others. Now, linguistically, you know the difference between remaining ones and others, because when you talk about remaining ones, it means you're talking about the same group, and from them the remaining ones were drowned. But when you talk about others, they are not from the same group, there are some others. Now of course this is very clear to you, remaining ones, the same group, others, another group, right? Now to appreciate the beauty of what Allah could have changed, Allah could have said then we drowned thereafter the others here, and over there we could have said we could drown the remaining ones. But why select this? Now let me show you the beauty in the closer context and the wider context. Now you will appreciate it inshallah. Firstly, when Allah says remaining ones, meaning the group is one and the same, right? From them the remaining ones were drowned. Now in the context of this Surah Shu'ara chapter 6, when the remaining one, the group is one, if you go from the beginning of the story of Nuh alayhi salam, it talks about one group. It says the people of Noah denied them. The people of Noah, they are the people of Noah, so there's one group. Even the next verse, قَوْمٌ كَذَّبَتْ قَوْمُ نُوحٍ, the people of Noah. Then even the next verse says, if قَالَ لَهُمْ أَخُوهُمْ Nuh, and their brother Noah, now Nuh alayhi salam is being considered as part of them, his brother, their brother, subhanAllah. So it's one group. But in Surah Safat, when they say the others were drowned, it doesn't talk about the nation of Noah. It doesn't even mention them, hardly mentions them. It says, and Noah had certainly called us. It's between Allah and Nuh alayhi salam. Noah had certainly called us, and we are the best responders, and we saved him and his family from the great affliction. Doesn't mention his nation, subhanAllah. So there are some others, right? Then secondly, the second difference you will see is when they are called as the remaining ones, meaning the group is one, it's the same one, from them the remaining ones are drowned. The previous verse, the way Allah talks about saving, Allah says, so we saved him and those with him in the laden ship. So when you mention the ship, it is as though those who are on the ship are saved and the others, the remaining ones who do not come onto the ship, are drowned. But Surah As-Safat doesn't even mention when it talks about saving, it doesn't mention the ship. It says we saved him and his family from the great affliction. Now the third point is very important, and this is the most important point in the closer context, which is when Allah says we drowned thereafter the remaining ones. Now these are the people, it's the one group. Now when Allah mentions remaining ones, he talks about this conflict between Nuh alayhi salam and his people. It is as though they're just onto each other's nerves, and they're one in the same group, fighting amongst each other, or just like they're really annoying Nuh alayhi salam, right? So the context talks about them as though they are in the same place and they're having arguments, right? If I read the entire story here, the people of Noah denied the messengers, and now it talks of Nuh alayhi salam talking to them and they talking to him, and so it is as though they're in the same place and they're having a conversation. When their brother Noah said to them, will you not fear Allah? And I am to you a trustworthy messenger, so fear Allah. I do not ask you for any payment. Fear Allah. They said, should we believe you while you are followed by the lowest class of people? He said, what is my knowledge of what they used to do, and so on and so forth. And I am not one to drive away the believers. I am only a clear warner. They said, if you do not desist, oh no, we will surely be of those who were stoned. So there is a conflict, and in conflict, it's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is trying to show them that these people and they were onto each other, like they were onto Nuh alayhi salam. But when Allah says in Surah Safat chapter 37 that we drowned the others, meaning they're not even there. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't even hardly mentions them in the story. This story is about Allah's favor on Nuh alayhi salam and Nuh alayhi salam's own merit. Look at the story. His nation is hardly mentioned. I don't think it's even mentioned. Nuh alayhi salam has certainly called us, and we are the best of responders, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we saved him and his family from the great affliction, not even mentioning the nation. And we made his descendants, now it doesn't even talk about his nation, it talks about his descendants. We made his descendants those remaining on earth, and left him favorable mention among the later generations. Peace be upon Noah among the worlds. Indeed, thus we thus reward the doers of good. Indeed, he was of our believing servants. And then we drown there. They're not even mentioned there. It is as though Allah is saying my favor, and when Allah is saying His favor is that the disbelievers turn into others. The privilege of Nuh alayhi salam, and mentioning him as, thus we reward the doers of good. He was of our believing servants. So the other people, they are not amongst his group, the doers of good or the believers. There are others when it comes to believing. They are really the others. They're not in the group of Nuh. SubhanAllah, so perfectly chosen, the others. And this is the closer context of both the chapters. But even if I go to the larger context of the entire chapter, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, chapter 26, that we drown the remaining ones, that means they're one and the same group. There's a clash, right? They're showing the clash. The entire chapter is about people clashing with the messengers sent to them. I'll just show you snippets from the chapter. In the beginning of the chapter, verse 3 to 5 or 6, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, look at the way it starts. You will kill yourself with grief that they will not be believers. If we will, we could send down to them from the sky a sign for which their necks would remain humble, and no mention comes to them anew from the most merciful, except that they turn away, for they have already denied. And then the entire chapter goes on talk about the clash. I'll just show you the startings of the verses, and you can read the chapter. It's about the clash between good and the bad. When your Lord called Moses, go to the wrongdoing people, and when he said to recite to them the news of Abraham, when he said to his father and his people, what do you worship? Clash again. Then verse 105, the people of Noah denied the messengers. Look at the way the stories are starting, and then you could read the story of the clash. The chapter verse 123, and Ad denied the messengers. Then verse number 141, Thamud denied the messengers. There is a clash. The people of Lot denied the messengers, and companions of the thicket denied the messengers. But in Surah Safat, where the others were drowned, they're not even mentioned, worthwhile mentioning. The chapter is about praising Allah and praising the messengers themselves. Look at the way the chapter starts. By angels who line up it, by those who drive and those who recite the message. Indeed, your God is one, the Lord of the heavens and the earth, and that in between. And then there's the mention, the praise of the messengers. Start from Ibrahim, peace be upon Abraham. Indeed, we thus reward the doers of good. Indeed, he was of our believing servants. Then peace be upon Moses and Aaron. Indeed, we thus reward the doers of good. Indeed, they were of our believing servants. And then verse number 130 on peace be upon Elias. Indeed, we thus reward the doers of good. Indeed, he was of our believing. Subhanallah. That chapter, you see just one difference. When Allah says we remain the remaining ones, in Surah Safat chapter 26, and Allah says we drown the others in chapter 37. Subhanallah, just difference of others and remaining words brings the beauty of this. This is what we want, not just mere recitation, but diving deep, just like we dive deep into the ocean to take out the pearls of the Quran. That's what reflection does, brings out the beauty of the Quran. May Allah open the beauty of the Quran for us. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.